order to accuse somebody of snitching, and I'm glad that the streets, well, I can't even say that the streets really up to speed on it, but a lot of people that's really stand-up guys and respectable, at least as far as, look, I don't want to hear who's snitching. If you telling me who's snitching, you snitching on the snitch that you don't even really have proof about. People want paperwork, all right? All that stuff, everything that goes on in court is documented. Now, they might have you as anonymous or unnamed source or whatever, but they want paperwork. If you snitched, they want to see that on paperwork, because that's a very serious allegation, especially in the hood and in the street culture. If somebody say you snitch, basically that's a death sentence. You basically gave the red light for anybody, any of his enemies, anybody, to be like, or even for his friends to look at him like, oh bro, you a snitch. You can turn friends into enemies like that. That is the most serious allegation that you can catch out in the streets, is if somebody put that snitch jacket on you, So the documents, and I've listened to the whole entire one, but really I want to look at that Cuffy one too, because that's the main one that you gotta look at, because they say that Tammy was working for Big Meech, and Tammy, come to find out, is the one that snitched on Cuffy as a third-party operative. Now, what that means is that she's telling on behalf of Big Meech to try to get Big Meech's sentence reduced so that he can come home early. All right, and I learned a lot about this. But number one, there's basically like three types of snitches, three types of deals that you can cut with the feds, and the kind of deal that Big Meech had is very hard to tell. That if he did snitch, is very hard to tell, because that deal is made to be very, very secretive anyway. All right, and also somebody made a good point too in this other video. I forget the name of what channel it is, but there also can be verbal agreements made in court that's separate from the contract that Big Meech signed, the deal that he made. All right, so when you listen to the court proceeding that's documented, that's written down, it doesn't match the deal that Big Meech signed. Matter of fact, when he signed that deal, it was too late, because the law says you have a certain amount of time to sign this paperwork. Well, the date that he signed it was after it, so really his deal should be null and void anyway. And then number two, well, another thing is that that's why I said I wanted to read Cuffy's paperwork, because excuse me, because the woman that here's the kicker. The woman that snitched on Cuffy is not Tammy. It was another third-party operative. So you have, they call her a something. It's something one. It's some legal term. Sorry guys, I'm not a lawyer, but there's a legal term where she's basically cooperative number one is Tammy. Cooperative number two is the one that actually snitched on Cuffy and got him jammed up. It wasn't even Tammy. They named her as a cooperative, but it was the second cooperative that actually gave the damning evidence to jam up Cuffy. All right, but Cuffy sees Tammy, and he's like, "Hold up, ain't this the chick that used to work for Big Meech? Man, Big Meech got me." So that's how all of this stuff is getting tossed on Meech. And also, here's the biggest, strangest kicker. I know this video going on way long. That's why I had to make another one. But here's another. I probably had to chop this up. But the biggest thing is this. A third-party cooperative can cooperate without the other person even knowing about it. All right. So here's an example. There's this one guy that he had a girlfriend or whatever. He got jammed up, went to jail. All right. He had left her anyway before he got jammed up. Well, she missed him and all that. Finally, wanted him back. Finally, couldn't find him. She finally found him. It was like, hey, look, I'm seeing this other guy, but I love you. I finally found you. This other guy is a big time drug dealer too. I can snitch on him and get you a reduced sentence. And he like, hold up, no, don't do that. No, don't put my name in this and all this. And she's like, no, your name won't be in it. They won't say anything about you, but because I'll snitch on your behalf. Yet they won't say anything about you. The only thing they're gonna do with you is let you out early. That's what they're gonna do, because it's that's why they call it a third party cooperative. He's not interacting. What this does is this allows you to have one layer removed from actually being a snitch. All right. So it's like, all right, we need information, man. If I tell, they're gonna kill me and my whole family and all the pets in the house. All right, don't worry about you telling. Have one of your underlings or your workers or somebody your auntie, whoever, have them snitch on your behalf, and then we'll let you out. That's what the third party cooperative is. But the kicker is they don't have to know. The person who the third party cooperative is trying to get out doesn't even have to know about it. So the thing is, did Big Meech know that Tammy was going to snitch? We don't know. So for 50 to be like, oh, he a snitch, we got the paperwork. Nah, they got paperwork, but they're still linking it through circumstantial evidence. It's not in black and white saying that Big Meech cooperated and gave us this information. That's not in there. So, and then plus, the mandatory minimums were reduced for weight. For selling dope weight, it was reduced. So if he's snitching to get a deal to get out early, and he's supposed to do 30 years minimum, and he did 20, all right, and federal time you gotta do like 80% of your time, but he did 20. It's like, how much time did they really cut off? This guy really didn't get much of no time cut off. So if you ask me, I don't believe that Big Meech had anything to do with snitching on Cuffy. Why would he risk losing everything, losing his life, losing his family's life, losing his street credibility to what? Come out a few months early? It just don't make sense. The math is not mathing. But 50 Cent knows that the evidence is circumstantial enough where he could spin it to say that Big Meech snitched, and then he can use that against him. And 50 Cent knew this the whole time. He was just holding this just in case, just for some type of leverage, in case Big Meech did try to cross him or did try to screw 50 out of the money, whatever the case may be. He was holding this in his back pocket to use against him the whole time. You know, people might be like, oh, well, 50, you knew he was a snitch the whole time. Why are you working with him? 50 don't care either way, bro. 50 just laughing straight to the bank like, ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. That's a 50 Cent song if y'all don't know. But yeah, man, so it's a lot more to it than what you think. But go ahead, give a like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think. And peace until the next one.